people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle. Oh, where's my camera go? Dusty. Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumour show, where I talk to you about rumours and news surrounding the Arsenal. I hope you guys are all well. Big up to yourselves. I hope you're good. Feeling a little bit better than yesterday. So I have pre-recorded a huge bunch of stuff. What I would say is you members, you gold members, you silver members, watch out. Things are going to be hitting you real quick over the next 24 hours. Because you'll have 24 hours access before these guys do. So make sure you keep an eye out on that. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And indeed, join the membership if you haven't already. It is worth it. You get all my pre-recorded videos for free. Latest notification for stuff before the general kind of subs do. You get the all of my members will also have my daily vlogs, so I'll be just starting that over the next week or so. Obviously, if you're a gold member, you also get FIFA streams. You get cooking with Chigs. I'm going to be starting my streaming with the gold members soon. So make sure you do sign up. And if you have any issues with signing up, let me know. That's something I'll look into with YouTube. All right? All right. Let's get it cracking then. Let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Bukayo Saka. Two men that obviously are causing us the biggest headache at the moment because they are currently rapidly approaching the last year of their contract. When I say rapidly, I'm talking about 2 weeks' time. Technically, they are into the last year of their contract. So it's definitely squeaky bum time. And this is unfortunately the situation that we always find ourselves in because we can't seem to manage our situations properly. But it is what it is. We've been looking for signs of encouragement. Couple of weeks ago, as recently as a couple of weeks ago, everyone was confident that Bukayo Saka will sign a contract and extend his stay. Everyone's still now a little bit nervous. According to certain sources, there are just a couple of pressing issues to address about that contract. Once that is addressed, then he's prepared to sign. With Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, we heard Pierre come out yesterday. I'm really glad he came out yesterday and kind of put Arsenal on blast a little bit by kind of saying, listen, for me, I need to know that I'm, essentially what he was saying was, I need to know I'm valued. And I need to know that you guys are going to do what it takes to convince me to stay. You guys know what I want. The ball is in your court. It's up to you. I don't necessarily think it's a pay issue because I will say this. His current wages in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. I mean, when you really think about it today, it's not that bad. Listen, Hacks, if my thing goes down a rant route, it goes down a rant route, but I don't think I will be ranting. But yes, I don't think it's that bad, all things considered. I feel like, for me, he's on 100 and what? 80,000? In fact, I think it's 170,000 pound a week. When you look at it like that, my man's on less than Mkhitaryan. So, I don't think he is necessarily, as flashy as he is, I don't think he's necessarily a stickler for money. But obviously, he's the captain, he's the best player in that squad, he wants to be paid accordingly. Not only does he want to be paid accordingly, he wants to know that the club that is going to offer him a contract is going to take him to the success that he wants. He wants titles, he wants trophies, he wants to be able to achieve things. I think for him it's difficult because you can see he is very, very, very comfortable in the Arsenal side. Supposedly, he absolutely adores living in London. He loves the lifestyle. He loves the hustle and bustle. He loves the people. He's very comfortable at Arsenal. He's adored by the fans. He has, people in the team that he likes and that he's very comfortable with. You can see it even in training videos that everybody's in awe of him. You can see in a lot of ways he is the perfect guy to be the captain because everybody, you can see when he speaks, I can imagine that these guys pay attention. You know, like I can see them paying attention. So in a lot of ways, I can understand why he was captain. For this situation, I can't. But that the situation aside, I can absolutely understand why he was captain. So by all intents and purposes, this is not a foregone conclusion. He bounces. You know, in fact, he said yesterday that it will, whatever he does, it will be the hardest thing he does in his entire life, whether it's staying or going. Because obviously, if he stays, he's taking a big gamble. This is his last big contract. This is his last chance to have a big move and to get the success that I'm sure he was hoping for when he joined the club. Mikel Arteta's kind of initial response to that, to his interview yesterday, was that, listen, Aubameyang knows the project that we have at hand here. He knows what we're going to do to take this club to that next level. I'm determined to see that through. We obviously need him in order to see it through. So there should be no questions about what he's looking for. So I was a bit like, okay. Well, that doesn't really address his problem, which was we haven't offered him anything. Like, we physically haven't offered him a contract. But then seeing kind of Mikel Arteta's, press conference response, and obviously it's not my bag, the press conference response. It's not something I'm going to do going forward. But I thought for me, this was quite interesting, little kind of tidbits that you saw from the press conference response, which was the fact that, and I'm mainly just going to concentrate on, Saka and Aubameyang. That with Aubameyang, he basically, his whole sentiment was that he feels that he's calling on Arsenal to essentially show him that he is a valued player, that he does believe that Arsenal have the capability of keeping Aubameyang and satisfying his requests and demands, and that he feels like he just needs to know that he is loved and valued here. And that in Mikel Arteta's opinion, he's quietly confident that if those things can be satisfied, which Arsenal is very capable of doing, are very capable of sending the message that, listen, we've got you. Whatever you need, we've got you. You know what we want to do. You know who we want to target. You know what we're trying to do, even with the difficult financial situation that we've got. We essentially want to build a team, even at the age of 31, we want to build a team around you. Like, we've got you. You can see the moves that we're trying to make. You see the rumors that are out there and what we're trying to do. Just bear with us. Now, provided he can do that, then there is a chance that Aubameyang will stay. Supposedly, him and Mikel Arteta get on like a house on fire. So for Aubameyang, you're kind of thinking to yourself, when you have so many things that are going your way, you love the city, you love the players, you love the team, you love the environment around you, you love the fans, you love the manager. It's going to be, you're risking a lot by changing that environment. It's just like anybody in a job. Have you ever been in a job where you're comfortable, right? Pay, all right, could be better. You know that you're due a pay rise and it's coming soon anyway, so maybe that might satisfy it. But you kind of got that itch. But in your mind, you're thinking to yourself, listen, you've moved so much. You've experienced so many different things. I just want it to be part of a job that's going to allow me to achieve my personal development and my personal ambitions. And you do get that itch. And it's difficult because in your mind, you're kind of thinking, look, I'm kind of comfortable where I am. Do I want to rock the boat? But then the other part of you is saying, exactly, you're comfortable. You're too comfortable. And why should that be any different in football? And I think that is what you're seeing here with Aubameyang. So we'll see what happens. But from my perspective, I don't know if I'm confident like Arteta, because we've been here too many times before. We've been here too many times before. In fact, ironically, the only time that we've been here before, and it was a player that I was hoping would go and ended up staying, was Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil, I was hoping he'd go. And he ended up staying. I was like, ah, shit. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to come to the second part of my the title in a second. Let's go to Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka, again, is very, very similar sort of words that are coming out of Mikel Arteta. I'm trying to find some quotes here, by the way, guys. But basically, he's along the lines of the club need to get that situation resolved as quickly as possible. All right, I've got some quotes here. Here we go. Mikel Arteta stressed the importance of the club by reaching an agreement with youngster Bukayo Saka over a new deal. Fans remain fearful. Hold on, let me get some quotes. Addressing the teenage future, we are trying as a club to finalize the deals that are most urgent and priority for us. The ones you're talking about, aka Saka and Aubameyang, they are both important, not just for now, but for the future of the club, as well as if the club has something to announce, they will do it at the right moment. So I'm glad that that quote ended like that, because that brings me on to the second part of my kind of statement, which was the unlikelihood that it's going to be during the season. Now, I watch a YouTube channel from an Arsenal-based writer, I guess, called Charlie Watts. A lot of my kind of rumor, transfer news, general news comes from him. I find him quite reliable. It's got a YouTube channel. I think it's got like 4.2k subscribers. I'd say go and give it a subscribe. Generally, I quite enjoy watching him. Different sort of pace, very, very calm, very, very quick kind of videos as well. So he's not like rambling on about stuff that you don't need to know. I'd say definitely go and give him a subscribe. Anyway, so he was talking about obviously the press conference and that. And from his perspective, he felt that it was unlikely that although those two deals are the things that Arsenal are most prominently working on at the moment, that it's unlikely that those deals will be signed before the season ends. That the entire focus for the club is to try and get as close to, if not the Champions League, as possible. Now, I say as close to because if obviously Arsenal are unable to get Champions League football, they are at the very least going to get Europa League football. So that's the entire focus for the club. So it's not as though, because we're going to be playing a lot of games in a very short space of time. So they're going to have a moment to be able to kind of switch off long enough to be able to sign a deal, which makes it even more stupid that we weren't doing this during the break. It was a 3-month break. Like, you'd thought this would have been the time. Because by the time the season ends, there's not going to be long between the season ending and the start of next season. Mind you, these players who do want to move, they're going to be waiting until the end of the season before sorting out a move. They're going to be talking to people. They're going to be thinking, all right, cool, let's see if I can make some deals for myself, which I can completely understand. I can completely understand. So I don't know if I like this personally, but it is what it is. According to him, he feels that neither deal will be signed before the end of the season. So what do you guys think? For me, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I kind of figured this, but to see somebody else who's a little bit closer to the club say it kind of made me think, oof. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. All right, let's talk about some actual rumours. Let's talk about Fraser Forster. Does anyone remember Fraser Forster? I remember him coming up through the ranks at Southampton. Big 6'7" goalkeeper. Like, he's a big MFer. English goalkeeper. Represented England on a couple of times on different levels. Played at a really high level, and then I'm not really sure what happened. I think he had an injury maybe 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. And then his form kind of dipped around that period of time. And, you know, kind of Southampton, in the meantime, they found another goalkeeper that became number one, and Fraser Forster was kind of left to the side. He spent last season, or this season, I should say, on loan at Celtic and has rediscovered his form. He's only conceded, I believe it's 17 goals. Was it 17 goals? No, I'm reading the wrong thing. Hold on, let me just get it up because let me get the actual stats up because I never trust I trust what's it called? The one I'm reading. Yeah, so he's conceded 28 goals in 39 games and kept 17 clean sheets. Now I know what people are immediately going to say. Yeah, cool, but that's the Scottish League though. Still though, that ain't that bad. And actually, what he's done is he's performed very well at the Europa League level. So there's a belief that he'll be ready to join Celtic this summer. Seems like a move that makes sense on all parties. Southampton are desperate to get him off their books because he's currently on a £70,000 a week wage, which we're a top team, so that might sound like pittance to us, but actually to a team like Southampton, that's a lot of freaking money. So they're trying to get him off the books. And there's a belief that Arsenal, who've always kind of registered an interest in Fraser Forster, but never gone that extra mile to go and get him. They believe that Arsenal might be interested, particularly as someone who can challenge Bernd Leno. Now, again, people will be saying, all right, but what about Emi Martinez? So there's a belief, and I have heard this before, there is a widespread belief that Emi Martinez will leave the club at the end of the season, seeking first-team football. He's obviously 27 years old himself. And I remember at the start of the season, he said to himself that if he isn't able to convince the coach that he is the number one, that he may as well leave the club. Now, it's interesting because he was playing a lot more football with Emre than he is with Arteta. If you remember when Arteta started all of a sudden playing Leno in goal for Europa League, everyone was like, huh? You're playing Leno? But I think then most people have this attitude as, yeah, well, you should play a best goalkeeper at all times. But I think, for me, I don't mind the rotation. Actually, you guys have seen me in my FIFA streams. I rotate my keeper as well for cup games. I think, because for me, this is just my opinion, right? At first, I used to be like I used to be like, yeah, you should play your best goalkeeper at all times. But actually, if you, for whatever reason, need your second goalkeeper in, and they're cold and they're not played a single game over the season, how exactly do you expect them to do well? Whereas I think these cup games are able to just keep them ticking over, keep them sharp, especially with goalkeepers. They need that regular sort of contact with the ball. So for me, I'm all for giving goalkeepers a little bit more time. And, there's an argument to be said that who knows, maybe if Emi Martinez, who is a better communicator, in my opinion, than Bernd Leno in goal, had played that game instead of Bernd Leno, maybe we'd have got through Olympiacos. Who knows? I'm just putting it out there. Who knows? Who knows? I'm most certainly not blaming Bernd Leno, but who knows? So, yeah, I think for me, this one's an interesting one because he's 32 years old. So you're kind of like, ooh, it's a little bit old, but keep in mind he's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers, provided they keep themselves in shape, there's no reason a goalkeeper can't go to his 40. At the very least, I would say he has 6 more years, 5-6 more years doing goalkeeping. So from my perspective, he has ambitions to get back into the England squad. I don't think that's impossible because I don't particularly rate Jordan. I don't particularly rate the current England number one. And I think it's kind of up for grabs for the rest. So I feel like if he could get himself back onto form, which he seems to be doing, he's 6'7". I love a big keeper, personally. He's always been a good shot stopper. My only thing with Forza Freyster is concentration levels sometimes are a little bit dodgy. But other than that, I think he's decent. And if Emi Martinez is leaving anyway, I say pick this geezer up. Pick this geezer up. Keep him on a similar sort of wages that he is on now, maybe 80, 90,000 a week. Tell him to sit on the bench. That's you, son. But then he might have ambition. He might say, listen, I actually want to play. I would have played. So that could go one of two ways. It really depends on him and his ambition and whether Arsenal will be looking towards something like that. I know that yesterday, I completely forgot the name of the kid. We were being linked with a Swedish goalkeeper. So I know Arsenal are looking at goalkeepers because of this Emi Martinez situation. So I would say don't be surprised when Arsenal really starts to shop for a goalkeeper. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. It's not Swedish goalkeeper. It was a Swiss goalkeeper. Forgotten his name, but it was a Swiss goalkeeper. Okay, let's talk about Tengai Kusasi. Tengai Kusasi currently plays for PSG, 18 years old, 6'2" defender. But let me tell you something. This kid is being highly, highly coveted by a lot of teams. A lot of teams want him. I cannot begin to describe to you. And there's a reason for that, because not only is he a good player, he's a free agent in July. Now, Arsenal love a free agent. We love a freebie where we can get it. We don't often get freebie because usually teams are able to out-trump us. But supposedly Arsenal are the latest team to have offered Tanguy Kusasi a deal. This includes, just to give you an idea of the amount of teams that have already made him an offer, not even registered an interest, an offer. The fresh-faced Frenchman made his PS debut in December, but he has offers on the table from Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, Monaco, AC Milan. He already has an offer on the table from PSG, and now he has an offer from Arsenal. So this is a guy that is highly, highly coveted. Not only that, Liverpool are also interested in this guy. So this is what LE10 Sports claim. I will say this, a lot of my transfer rumors does come from LE10 Sport. You're not often that right. But I can absolutely see us being linked to a young Frenchman who's free and is supposed to be good. That is the kind of story I can believe, to be fair. What do you guys think? Does anyone know about him? Anyone that watches French football closely that can actually identify if he's any good? Keep in mind the French league is over, so he's got plenty of time to negotiate the right deal for himself. Honestly, I would suggest for him probably us or Borussia Dortmund might be the best way to go in terms of development. Borussia Dortmund love their youngsters; they develop their youngsters very, very well. Arsenal would tend to play youngsters. We're looking for a defender. I can't necessarily see it being this guy, but would it be impossible that Arsenal could buy him and maybe another experienced defender alongside it? I could see something like that. For a freebie as well, that would be a stroke of genius. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I don't know if we've got 15 more minutes. All right, let's race through some of these. Let's talk about Papa Gueye. Now, this is a name I ain't said in a while. You may remember this. This guy is from La Liga 2, someone that Guendouzi knows pretty well. Defensive midfielder, about 6'2", good raw talent. Someone that we were being linked with a 5 million bid for in January. And then those stories just went away. I've never seen a story be so prominent and then it go away so quickly. But it just went away. Like we didn't hear about it. We didn't know about it. The next time I saw Papa Gueye's name, I think was late April, early May, where supposedly he agreed a deal with Watford, which was like, oh, okay, good signing for Watford, especially someone that maybe could be able to play alongside Doucouré, because Doucouré is not really a DM, but he's been playing as a DM recently, and to be honest, I don't think it's working. So, like, someone that could allow Doucouré to just stretch his legs a little bit and move forward, I thought, wow, what good capture for them. Well, actually, it seems like he's got cold feet over the move, because I don't know what happened. And then I started to see rumors that his agent denied that the deal was completed, even though we saw that graphic, that Watford graphic, showing him so kind of like a welcome to Watford type graphic that the club put out. And his agent started like denying. It was getting kind of weird. So then in my mind, I was thinking, hold on. In January, he only had 6 months left of his deal. So if he's able to get out of his Watford deal, he'll be free. And I don't know how it happened, but unluckily for Watford, according to L'Equipe, he's managed to got himself out of the deal. And a 21-year-old who apparently was seen as the best player in La Liga 2, basically got out of his deal at Watford. Don't know how he did that. I don't know what happened there. I'm not even gonna lie. If I was a Watford fan, I'd be feeling so salty. Like, what the heck happened? But he managed to get out of his deal, and obviously, subsequently, Arsenal fans are like, "Hey up, hey up." Now, you know what I'm gonna say. This deal must not detract from the next person I'm going to talk about. I am all for signing him if it doesn't mean that we stop signing the other geezer, right? But yeah, I think for me, he looks decent. I'm not going to start pretending like I know chapter and verse about him. I literally started watching him from January onwards. So please, I am not by any means telling you I'm an expert. One thing I would say is a good raw talent. Now, we need a DM. I think it would be silly to just sign him as a DM. That's what my personal feeling is. But I think as someone that could potentially learn from the next guy that I'm going to talk about, I think that could be a shrewd move. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Okay, let's talk about the next story that you knew I was going to talk about at some point. But I decided today I'm not going to lead with it, and that is Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is the long, protracted. We always have one of them. We always have a target that is long and protracted. Sometimes it happens. Most of the time it doesn't. I spoke about him as recently as yesterday during my enormous rant yesterday. And so Arsenal have obviously been linked with a move for him, I would say probably for about a year to 18 months, because Emre wanted him for a while. Couple of times. He wanted him last January, and then he wanted him last summer, but both times the board ignored him. It just so happens that Arteta is now very, very keen. I think maybe the board are finally like, all right, maybe we should do something. Then it came out that actually Thomas Partey has a release clause in his contract, and that is the only thing that is making this deal somewhat possible. It's been long and protracted, and I'm not going to start talking to you about who said what, where, when. For me, I'm trying not to talk about it too much, because I think sometimes you talk about transfers too much, and especially when it comes to Arsenal, it then all of a sudden doesn't become possible. You guys know, for me, this is my number one. This is the one after Saka and Aubameyang agreeing. This is my number one thing I want happening this summer, is to get Thomas Partey in. Even if nothing else happens, we get those two agreements, we get Partey in, we sell a bunch of deadwood that we currently have. For me, I'm happy with the summer. You know? But according to, it's pretty widely spread. There's a few people reporting this. Arsenal are prepared to offer Thomas Partey triple, not double, triple his current wages this summer, which is like, which is interesting because obviously Atletico Madrid went back to Thomas Partey, who currently earns £60,000 a week. Yeah, it happens. I remember Koulibaly, when I was first talking about Koulibaly, Napoli, believe it or not, were paying Koulibaly £5,000 a week. So it happens. Sometimes these things just go under the radar. So he's currently on £60,000 a week, which is a good wage for most people. And it doubtless was an amazing wage for me and you. But for a player of his caliber, it's kind of like, wow, is that all you get? So you can understand why he's a bit kind of like twitchy about, even if this whole thing has been a move to get a contract, I don't understand why. 60 grand a week. Atletico Madrid initially went back to him with an £80,000 a week offer, which apparently he was insulted by. Obviously, they remain in talks, currently ongoing, that, they're going to try and tie him to a new deal. Every day that passes, Atletico Madrid are getting less and less confident that he's going to stay. They're trying their best to do what they can to offer him £100,000 a week. Keep in mind, they're a club that was also affected by this pandemic, and they weren't in great financial shape prior to that. Not to mention that they also are a team like us that are at huge risk of missing Europe. So there's only so much they can do. So they're trying to go back to him with £100,000 a week. Arsenal are obviously monitoring the situation. I don't think they've necessarily. There's a lot of reports saying that we've spoken to Partey. I don't think we've necessarily done that, but I think we've been clever. We've told the right people, listen, if Partey's prepared to come, fuck your £100,000 a week. We'll give you £180,000 a week. Especially if it's a team where supposedly, allegedly, he wants to join. And they're now saying that they're going to triple his current wages. It's going to be pretty hard for him to turn down. But I find all this saga very, very interesting, considering Arsenal are supposed to be in cost-cutting mode. But I suppose £180,000 a week for a player the caliber of Partey, even for Arsenal, is quite doable. I do think it's doable. I do think it's justified. And I think if you could coincide that by letting Alex Lacazette go, who's on a similar sort of wage anyway, then it's not really affecting the budget. What do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. For me, I kind of figured, that we'd offer him something like that. I thought 150, 160. If it goes to 180, to be honest, if it goes to £200,000 a week for a player the caliber of Thomas Partey, I say all for it. And then if you could bring in this Papa Gueye guy as well, who's for free, who's someone that could potentially take the baton from Partey or play alongside Partey if, Guendouzi and Xhaka are doing their usual foolishness. To me, these are smart moves to make. I'm expecting Lucas Torreira to leave the club. I fully expect it to happen. I hope that Granit Xhaka leaves the club. I don't think that will happen, but I hope that happens. So then I think all of a sudden you've got room now to play with. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. I think I've touched on every other story now. Let me just double check. Yep, I think I have. Look at that. All before 8 o'clock. Crap. So let's see what happens in terms of the contracts. The contracts, to be fair, even more than the Partey thing, is the one that everyone is going to be worried about. And also, if you're Thomas Partey, in some ways, you're waiting to see what happens with Aubameyang. Why would you join Arsenal when Arsenal are about to lose one of their best players? Don't think that these are not things that these players think about. Believe me, they do. Aubameyang is just a bigger draw as, say, a Mesut Ozil is to certain people. So, of course, he's going to be thinking, hold on, I want to join these lot if they're about to lose their captain and their best player. I was looking forward to playing with Aubameyang. So keep in mind, Aubameyang is African, Partey is African. Don't think these guys don't think about stuff like that. So what do you guys think, though? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. The only other thing I was going to talk about was this Wallace guy. Now, I'm hoping that somebody can remember. Do you guys remember, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? Arsenal were being linked with a 21-year-old Brazilian. And I couldn't remember. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But supposedly he was supposed to be like really amazing. I couldn't remember his name, right? And then I remembered in January we were being linked with a Brazilian guy. And I thought it was that guy, but it ain't. It's this guy. Arsenal are being linked with a 21-year-old defender called Wallace. He's the guy that we wanted to get instead of Pablo Mari. Ah, there you go. Bruno Fox. Brilliant hacks. Thank you. Bruno Fox was the guy I was talking about. So Bruno Fox was the guy that was supposed to be like amazing, that Edu is really keen on getting. But the other person that we were being linked with was Wallace. He was supposed to be someone that we were supposed to get in January, actually. And Arsenal has supposedly made a move for this 21-year-old. And sorry, I'm trying to get the damn story up. But yeah, supposedly he's the one that Arsenal been chasing for some time. Edu in particular really highly rates this Wallace guy. Don't know anything about him, but he's the one that they want to partner William Saliba in defence. Now, I also have seen today that we are back on the Disasi trail. We're also being linked with Disasi, a move for Disasi as a backup. But he is purely as a backup if this deal doesn't come off. So apparently the Abubakar thing, nobody in Arsenal is confident that that deal will happen. So subsequently, Edu is looking towards Brazil to make this move happen. Now, this Wallace guy was someone that we were supposed to hook up with instead of Pablo Mari. Now, I do wonder, obviously Pablo Mari's on loan. I do wonder if we'll even bother getting Pablo Mari if we end up getting this guy. But he's again supposed to be someone that's very, very good. We've made a few approaches for his signing, apparently. But yeah, a lot of people like him. I mean, even this picture I'm looking at, he's built like a brick shit house. Got a decent pace on him. He's only 21, and he's said to be getting even better. The only reason that apparently he didn't join Arsenal in January was that he did suffer a knee injury, literally just after Arsenal approached him. It's like Arsenal put some sort of hex on him. And since then, he's been working on his recovery. His recovery is set to be 8 months. So it'll be touch and go if he'll be ready for the season or not. But he is highly, highly, highly rated. I wonder if anyone knows Brazilian football. Who's better, Bruno Fox or this guy? That will be very, very interesting. Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, guys, I'm not going to do any kind of Q&A kind of type session now because I know it's 8 o'clock. Usually when it's 8 o'clock, you lot like bouncing very, very quickly. I'm going to quickly just address Nee because he very, very kindly has given a donation. Thank you, my brother. In your opinion, will Uber sign a contract? Bro, I shit you not, I change my mind every single day. Hearing what Uber said yesterday, I immediately thought no. Hearing what Arteta said today, I'm a little bit more encouraged. Honestly, I have no idea. No idea. That's the honest truth about that. But thank you for your donation, my brother. I hope I didn't miss any other donation of yours. Yeah, that's that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you guys to it, but thank you for joining me. I know I was about 15, 20 minutes late today, so apologies for that. But I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back on time. We'll be back on schedule, 7 p.m. tomorrow. Keep an eye out, guys. There will be a chopping block drop-in. There will be a Chin Nose Bless drop-in. And the guys that will know first are all the members that are currently in place. So do feel free to join one of the members. And Elliot, in answer to your question, Sangara, I rate him more. But I still do like Papagay, but I rate him more. That's the one I'm more familiar with. But anyway, I'm out of it, guys. So please enjoy your Monday evenings. Take care. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing.